you maybe take us through how the conversation went yesterday and arrived at the decision that it did?
Yeah, we took a couple days off in where we just were, but yeah, Seattle. But you know, it didn't feel good there. I was hoping, after having 3 days off, that it'd feel a lot better. And when I showed up yesterday, it was really tough to swing and really tough to take ground balls. The training staff kind of noticed it. I was trying to hide it a little bit, but went in there, got some work done. Just kind of in a lot of pain, and then we just kind of made the executive decision to just shut it down. I do want to thank them though. They could have shut me down probably 3.5, 4 months ago, but they let me go out there and play. And that's all I asked for. So I do want to thank them though, for sure.
Masyn, something that Ollie mentioned last night was the difficulty of having this conversation, especially because you wanted to go and play for the home fans one more time. Why were you motivated to do that?
Just because I love playing at Busch Stadium. I wanted them to see me one more time this year, before next year, and that was kind of my thing. When I took those couple days off in Seattle, it was so I could play this last homestand, and it just it didn't work out that way. But it was special to me. I wanted to play in front of those fans one more time this year.
Masyn, what do you learn from this season then, playing like you did through this?
Just learned that I can do it. I feel like a lot of guys take off or hit the IL, and for me it just shows that I feel like I can go out there and play through whatever. It sucks, but being able to be out there for the guys and play good defense. Obviously offensively it wasn't a great year, but to be able to just be out there and be a good teammate for my guys was great.
To cut yours from 18 to 3, what went into that? What was the biggest factor? And do you grasp how historic that is? 3 errors at shortstop.
Yeah, it's definitely a great season, but I think it just goes back to the work that we put in spring training and just throughout the year, and just attention to detail. Between Jose Oquendo and Stubby, that's something that's obviously that I'm gonna have to be great at, and that's something I take pride in. So yeah, it's huge. It was a big step for me to drop in errors, which is what I expected of myself, and it's just great. Just the good work that I put in with those guys.
The 3 error part. Cal Ripken did it in 1990. Omar Vizquel, who has 11 Gold Gloves, did it, and now you. Can you grasp how significant that is?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. I'm assuming those guys played a couple more games than I did, but to be able to go out there and be consistent, that's kind of all I've been asking for of myself, and just really what I wanted to show these guys around here.
When you talk about the timing of this, do you now have your head around maybe like a time when something happened or anything like that? I don't know. You talk about being 3 or 4 months. Was it?
No, it was really just kind of a workup. I couldn't remember like a specific play or something like that. I remember it had been hurting for like a month or so, and I finally let them know, and we got an MRI. They showed a tear, and we just decided. I want to say that was like 3 weeks before the All-Star break, and I got a shot going into the All-Star break trying to help out. It didn't really help, but just to try to get ahead of this thing, and going into the second half, it was obviously bothering the whole time, but I just felt like I could keep playing, and they felt that I wouldn't be able to, or I wouldn't hurt myself because of my knee. If something else happened, it wouldn't be because of this. So we were both comfortable and letting me go out there and play. But yeah, it wasn't a specific play. It was just really kind of a build-up.
When you started feeling it like Memorial Day-ish, does that sound right?
Late May, early June-ish is whenever it initially happened.
Because you talk about like what the offense looked like this year, right? Like I would imagine that if it's in your back leg, that probably something you felt in your swing throughout much of the year. Is that fair?
Yes, but I don't want to use that as an excuse. I definitely just didn't perform to the best of my abilities this year. I don't want to use this as an excuse because of that.
What's your off season look like? What kind of things can you do, and what do you want to be prepared for when spring comes around?
I'm assuming, not assuming, when spring comes around, I'll be 100%. So that's also why I kept playing this year is, why miss 4 months of the season whenever I could just miss 4 months of the off season, and I had this surgery before in high school, came back in 2.5, 3 months, so I'll probably take a little bit more time this year to really make sure, when I was rushing back the first time, so this one I'll take my time, make sure everything's great, and I should be. I would assume by New Year's I'd be pretty much ready to go. So spring training will be good.
Same knee or different knee?
Same knee.
Same knee.
Same
okay.
knee.
And what do you want to kind of prepare for spring? What did you learn from this year coming out of spring?
I got a hit. I mean, that's simple. Defense was great this year. Obviously just want to keep doing that, but it's just really the offensive side, and hoping fully healthy I'll be able to take some more bags next year for sure.
Mason, do you have an idea of when you're going to undergo surgery?
Not too sure. I normally would have flown back today, but I wanted to be here with the guys for my last series. So we'll go back, get a second opinion, probably head down to Florida to get surgery, and within the next 2 weeks, hopefully.
If you were to win a Gold Glove, Platinum Glove, what would that mean to you?
It'd be great. It'd be fantastic. That's something I really wanted to win last year. I had too many errors for it, so I'm hoping I gave myself the best chance, and that'd just be amazing for sure.